Okay, so I just got back after a 2-day trip. And I left my terrariums unattended. I pretty much just watered them a little extra. And I left them. And there's a new species in here. These flies. I don't know where they came from. I added a piece of ham in there that the ecosystem is taking down. But I don't know. That could be it, but I really don't know. They're mysterious. I actually watered this terrarium right when I got home. And I sprayed it around, and I saw so many springtails. And they're the biggest springtails I've ever seen or even heard of. So I guess this is a pretty good environment for springtails. This is actually the finished carnivorous terrarium. In that extra spot, there's a little stick where I'm going to add a Venus flytrap. I would have added this one, but this one actually died. So I might have to get a new one or something. I have a pitcher plant, though, and sundew. Because there was actually 2 different ones in that teeny tiny little terrarium thing. I don't even want to call it that. It was so bad. But yeah, 2 different plants, so I separated them. And I think all the crickets were eaten. I actually didn't see any more crickets in here. But I think earlier in one of my first videos, if not the first video, I said that the pothos would probably die, and I think it is dying. It's turning yellow. But, I mean, I guess with all those springtails, they'll probably be able to take it down. But, yeah, the Phoetonias and the Monstera are doing pretty great, which cannot be said for the ones I have out here. Because this one shriveled up, and it's almost dead. I don't know if I can save it. And this one's also a little bit wrinkly, too. But I think it's salvageable. Also, this terrarium, its Phoetonias are also doing pretty great. You can't see it really well on camera, but they're very, very vibrant. So everything's doing pretty good in here. This other half of that stick, well, not really half, just broke it into 2 different pieces, and the other one went in there. I'm also trying out a new angle for the camera. I've usually been filming them like this, but now I'm doing like this, because I think it's better for videos. I'm also going to start editing my videos better, because I found a good app for that, and I'm going to start using that. Oh, also, I got some of my cacti and succulents. Not for a terrarium. Maybe someday, but for now they're just on their own. They're their own thing. I like this succulent. It's pretty cool. It looks like a tree. Then there's 2 other ones. This one looks even more like a tree, maybe like kind of like a pine. I don't know. And another one, it's like a shorter version of this one. So yeah, I'll take care of those ones. There's not a whole lot to show off, I guess. I have some other terrariums that I haven't really displayed too much on here. Of course, this one I call Todd's terrarium because I used to keep a toad in here named Todd. He sadly passed away. I showed this off in the first video, comparing it to my other terrarium, which is my new largest one. But pretty much, it has a little, I'll take off the saran wrap. It doesn't actually have a proper lid or anything, so I use saran wrap and a rubber band to keep everything nice and airtight like my other terrariums. I will use a little red tool to poke or point everything out. I have some grass here, as well as what I think could be creeping Charlie, but I'm not sure. 1 leaf and another leaf there. They're doing pretty good. Haven't really started growing out or anything. Some springtails. This is like stuff that I just grabbed from my backyard pretty much, by the way. My signature plant, I moved it from here because this was getting a little bit too wet, moist, so I haven't watered it in a while. I moved it over here, so it's this one. This one right here. The crickets kind of disappeared. They might be underground, but I haven't seen them. Wait, no, never mind. Here's 2. Here's 1, and then here's 2. So those, at least 2 are alive. Oh yeah, this tree, I think its growth might have been stunted. It was in a smaller one that I'll show you in a bit, small terrarium, for a long time. I think I might have accidentally stunted its growth, but yeah, this grass is really growing. There's a lot of sprouts from other plants. This plant, I'm trying to get a good view, but its leaves are interesting. It's got interesting leaves. Gosh, please focus. Yeah. It's hard to do this with only one hand. But its leaves are really cool compared to some of these other ones. But yeah, really cool. It's almost like a swamp, maybe. Springtails are so small they can just walk on water. And I have some mosses in here. I believe it was cushion moss and some sphagnum moss, but I don't know 100%. I'm gonna put the saran wrap back on. The crickets don't really know how to escape because they've been in that little tiny box for so long. Their legs, I think, have almost gotten atrophied, so they're not great at jumping. I still don't want to risk them escaping, so I try to keep this rubber band on as much as I can. I don't open it too much, only when I need to water it when it looks dry, and yeah, because that all the water in there does not get dry very often. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, sure it's on there. I'll put it back up in a bit. So I actually have a little dinosaur cactus pot. I like cacti, so. Oh yeah, I actually have this. I just threw all the extra clippings of moss and plants in there and it started to grow. But that thing's like a year old by now. So this is actually my oldest terrarium, almost. Actually, out of all of these ones here, it is the oldest. But I had a few before it that are older. There's one that's missing. Oh no. I think I accidentally lost that. It's a really small one. Whatever. It was a Tic Tac one. It was really dead though. Whatever. It wasn't a good terrarium. It was my first one, so I had no experience, and it didn't really survive. That was when I was really new, and I didn't know much about really anything about terrariums. So this one, it's got I put some grass in there, and there's moss. This is where the sapling was, actually. And then I actually saw the sapling, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. I wonder if I can do that again. And I knew it didn't have enough room, so I made this one that had even a smaller amount of sediment. I'm surprised this one survived for so long, because, you know, the sediment is important. It's got the rocks and the dirt. They're very important, you know, for the roots and stuff. But this one's doing strong. I have that clipping, a clip of the signature plant in there. It's kind of hard to see. I also have it in here, right there. And also this is one I actually got from a pastor, this huge jar. I don't really know what to call it, maybe not a jar. But this one sadly died like a month or two ago. The only things that live in there now are moss and springtails, and the springtails are dying out. I also have this really small Tic Tac terrarium. It's larger than this Tic Tac container is actually larger than the average one. They made one that's like slightly bigger. And then they made one that's a lot bigger. So they have like 4 different Tic Tac sizes, and this is like the large one, and this would be the gigantic one, then the normal one, and there's a really small one. I lost my small ones, but I was gonna make teeny tiny Tic Tac containers out of those. And I also have this dead one. So 2 dead ones. I don't think this one can ever make a comeback. But this one, I'm keeping my hopes up for it. I also have another cactus. And I have these little tiny jars over here. 2, 3, empty. They're very small, so I don't think I'll ever do that anything much with them. Of course, I have the terrarium that I got the carnivorous plants from. And this apple juice thing, I don't really want it. As well as this other succulent, which is dying. And a really old, not terribly old, like maybe 2 years old, failed desert terrarium. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's some mold in there. And yeah, that cactus. I'm surprised that cactus has held on for so long. If I ever make another desert terrarium, I'm gonna do better. Definitely add some drainage layer, because I think that was my main problem. But I'm gonna put this terrarium back up. Not very many of these terrariums have names. Like this is maybe the tall one. This is the Todd's one. That's the big one, and that's the carnivorous one. But not all of them have names. So, yeah. It's a good update. I think I'm going to start posting every week. Definitely on weekends. But, yeah. I've been thinking about the future of this channel recently. But, yeah, that's really about all I have to say for now. I'll probably make one in the middle of the week and then another one on the weekends. But then I'm going to start doing it only on the weekends. I don't know. I'm still figuring this whole thing out. But that's all.